Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys today? I am excited to bring you this project. It is the Sweet Conversations bundle that I'm using, and I have made this adorable treat holder. I'm going to show you how it works. So inside you have little greetings, a little bit of stamping, a little fun, right? And then you open this part up, and what is in here? Nerds. Who doesn't love nerds? They're just a fun little treat, right? We're gonna put that flap down. These little ones get tucked inside. This comes around, and then we tie this up. So I'm gonna leave it untied for right now because I'm gonna be demonstrating how we make this. It has a cute little pattern on the front and the back. You have these adorable hearts popping out of this cute little vellum envelope. So let's go ahead and get started. This project actually takes a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. So we are going to be using that because we have lots of flaps, as you will see in a minute. You have this front flap, which doubles over this flap, and then you have the width, you know, of the back. So you need this length 3 times plus the top and the bottom. So you actually need a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you how to make this cute project. So the piece of cardstock that we're using today is 12 inches by 4 inches. And I'm going to use my Simply Scored tool here. And I love this little board because I just use it for so many things. And it's really easy to score with it. So we're going to score the short side, which is this one right here, the 12 inch. I'm going to actually cover here, so let's see if we can, oh, I can't get the whole thing in camera, but trust me, it goes 12 inches down. So we're going to use the stylus, and on the short side, we're going to score at 3/4 of an inch, which is right here, all the way to the bottom, and 3¼ of an inch right here. So those form the sides of our project. Now we're going to turn it long ways. You can see this in the camera. It's 12 inches long. And along that 12-inch length, we're going to do quite a few score marks. So we're going to do at 3/4 of an inch. We're going to do at 4 inches. We're going to do at 4 3/4 of an inch. We're going to do at 8. We're going to do at 8 3/4. So this is what you have when you're done. There's all the score marks. You guys get a view of that. And let's go ahead and move this board out of the way. And we're going to start burnishing along all of those marks. All right, let me grab my bone folder and we'll get started. So let's go ahead and do down the 2 lengths we did first, right? That 3/4 inch and 3 1/4 inch marks. So those are the sides of our box, okay? And now we're gonna score down the long inch length. So we're gonna start with this one. All right. So there's all, you can probably see the score marks just a little bit better now. All right, so let's talk about it. The 3/4 inch with these 2 pieces at the bottom, that is gonna go like this. This is gonna be the part that tucks on the inside. It's gonna be that inside flap, this part right here, okay? This one. So as you can see, there's no sides attached to it, so we're going to get rid of these 2 squares. And I'm using a fairly thick bladed scissor. You can use a bigger scissor if you'd like. This is the size I like to use, but just make sure the blade is nice and thick. So we're going to cut there, and I'm actually going to cut that a little bit better there. Okay, so we're going to do this one. We're going to do this one. So there is the flap that tucks inside. These are going to become the sides right here of the box. This is our front panel. This is the bottom of the box. We need to trim these pieces. So we're going to cut down these ends right here. And that will allow these tabs to get tucked in, and I'll show you in a minute as we go along. So this is the top of the box. Here's the sides. These tabs are going to get tucked in side. And there is that front section. You see, it's coming together. This is going to be the back of the box. And as you can see, we need to cut these flaps because we have tabs right here. So let's go ahead and cut those. I'm going to cut these at an angle. And you can see that I have those tabs at an angle, and they're a little shorter. So once I've done cutting them at an angle, I'm going to trim them down a little. So I'm going to just cut that at an angle. It just helps all of this paper to fit inside itself here when it folds, not to have as much bulk. We have a lot of paper here, and our real red cardstock is really nice and thick. So there's those tabs. Now I'm going to trim them down. Make them about halfway, like so. All right, so there's my tabs. That's what we have so far. Okay, so let me bring you back to the beginning. So we have this front flap that covers our nerds. These are the sides of our box. These small tabs tuck in. These are also the side of our box. This gets put in like so. Okay, that's what we have so far. These get tucked. Now, as you can see, this flap right here does not have anything on the side, so both of those are going away. So we're going to go ahead and cut down here. You can also use a paper trimmer. It does help you when you're cutting a long amount to get it nice and straight. I'm just doing the best I can. So it's handmade, right? So if it's not perfect, that's why it's handmade. It's not made by a machine. It's made by a person. Okay, so that becomes our front flap. Let's put our box together. So we're going to tuck these tabs in. This back panel also gets tucked in. The front pieces are the sides. This flap goes here. These two side panels, they get tucked in. Let me have a little bit too much cardstock right here, so I'm just gonna trim a tiny bit because that little piece couldn't find its panel. Let's try that again. So we're gonna go ahead and bring these guys in. And this is how you do before you actually glue anything down. You just double check that everything fits, that pieces slide in where they're supposed to slide. So these guys are gonna go in there. There's one, there's two, and then there is our front flap. Just like that. What do you guys think? Pretty cute, right? I really like this project. So now that we've cut all of these extra pieces away, we are going to put some really cute designer series paper onto our box. We're going to attach our ribbon, and then we'll go about decorating, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to use these 3 pieces of DSP. They're actually all the same. One gets flipped for the inside, and it's going to be so that you could stamp on it, and it looks pretty good. Okay, so let's go ahead and open this up, and this piece is going to get glued right here. So I'm going to turn it to this patterned side. We're going to deposit some multi-purpose glue here. All right, and then this panel is the inside that gets kind of tucked away. Nobody knows it's here, right? All right, and as you can see on mine, I've stamped a few things on there, so let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to use Highland Heather, and we're going to put this really cute little X in the corner. So there's that one. We're gonna do the O, and we're gonna do that in Pool Party. And then we have an adorable little heart that says I love you. And we are going to stamp that in polished pink. Adorable. Now, we have this little piece of basic white cardstock, which I'm going to just trim a tiny hair off of. All right. I don't want it to be too long. And we are going to stamp the Happy Valentine's Day, which these pieces right here are a surprise, right? Because nobody actually knows that it's there until they open their cute little box to get to their nerds, right? So let's go ahead and bringing this down so I can see, and we are going to go ahead and stamp Happy Valentine's Day right here on this cute little scrap cardstock. And I'm going to go ahead and close that. We'll go ahead and glue that down too. Let's just go ahead and get everything that's on this inner piece adhered. All right. So let's go ahead and add that little stripe across this top panel here. All right, so this is the little hidden spot, right? All right. So let's clean these stamps real quick so I don't get ink on my hands, on my fingers, on my desk, on my project where I don't want it. So those guys are put to bed. All right, so next we are gonna glue this flappy panel, which we're gonna turn this around, okay? And here is our flappy panel. So this one is going to get one of these pieces, okay, just like this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put my adhesive on the back. All right, and let's flatten it. We're going to attach this onto our front flap. All right, now the back flap also gets one of these really cute patterns, but it also has a ribbon behind it. So we're going to attach our ribbon on there, and then we're going to put this glue over the top of it. So what we're going to do is, this is our polished pink ribbon. We want about the same distance, and it's going to be low. So it's not in the middle, as you can see on this one. It's a little bit below center. So we're going to find our center of that piece, and then we're going to drop it a little bit below center, just like that. And then there's our ribbon pieces just laying from side to side. We're going to go ahead and put adhesive on this panel here. We're also going to run some adhesive on top of this ribbon so that it will stick really well, because it is the part that's going to get tied, and that piece has to hold it in place. So we really want to make sure that it has plenty of adhesive. I love the wiggle room that this glue gives us, just not when it wiggles when I don't want it to. Okay, so there's our ribbon attached on our back panel. So this is our back, this is our front flap, and this is our piece that goes to the inside. All right, so now it is time to do, I'm going to go ahead and tie this one closed. We're going to put our nerds inside, so I have to grab those, but let me tie my cute little ribbon. I did leave this ribbon a little bit long because I just really like the way that the tails are hanging when I'm done. It also makes it easy to tie a bunch of times if you don't have those short tails on there. So there is that. I'm gonna yank on it and puff up my bow a little. There we go. All right, so let's grab our nerds here. Here is our box of nerds. Now, we're going to go ahead and glue these pieces in. And to do that, we want this panel is going to be tucked into this panel, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put adhesive on both of these tabs, and I'm going to attach it to this back panel. So we're going to go ahead and add adhesive. Fairly generous because I really want it to be a nice bond. And I'm just going to hold it so that it's square right there on that end. And I'm just going to really give it some pressure and really get it to bond. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to put adhesive on this flap here. I'll move all this out of our way. All right. And then it is going to stick to this panel right here. Make sure that it is nice and even and that our piece is attached and that it really bonds. And then I'm going to grab this and just make sure it's a very thin bladed scissors so it cuts really well. If there's any excess, it will find it like it did right there, just a hair. This side I don't see any, but we can always try. Like I said, oh, there's a tiny hair of it, so yeah, we had some. All right, so that's the base of our box. Now these flaps here are going to get glued to the sides right here. So let's go ahead and put adhesive on these two sides, and then we will glue this box panel to itself. I'm also going to trim, I see I have a little extra right here. I'm going to go ahead and trim that out now and get it out of the way so we don't have any bulk. Make sure there's none on the other side. There isn't. Okay, so we're going to put adhesive here, and then these long flaps are going to get glued. So let's go ahead and, all right. And I'm going to hold that in place. Give it a nice press, making sure that my box is nice and tight and that there's no overhang. I'm going to run my thin bladed scissor, and there is a little, there we go. All these little stringy pieces, we will collect those and into the trash. They'll go in a minute. Now we're going to do this other side. All right, so let's put our adhesive on the side panel. Again, make sure that we're generous, that we get all the little corners and spots here. All right, and then we're going to take this piece and we are going to pull it nice and tight against there, and we're going to run our fingers along there and really make sure that it is adhered. Now, we're going to go ahead and drop a box of nerds inside. There we go. I was going to say, I measured wrong, but I didn't. So there goes our box of nerds. So you can see it is flush with there. This covers it, so the surprise is kind of still kept. And now these flaps, no more glue. They're just going to get tucked in here just to make sure that I have this piece trimmed. It is, might have a smidge sticking off right there. Yeah. I do love these thin bladed scissors for that reason. So we're going to go ahead and stick this flap in and this flap in. All right. Oh, I forgot to put this down first. Now we'll stick our flaps in. All right. And then here is our main flap that gives our little, you can write your words in there. All right. Now here's our front flap. We're going to go ahead and tie it closed with our ribbon. And then we're going to decorate this front section. This is such a cute project. All right, so for our front section, we have a little vellum envelope. Whoops. Apparently I can't tie today. It's always when you're on camera, right? Because the world is watching. It's okay. 2 tries, 3 tries, however many it takes. All right, so we're gonna tie our pieces and then we are gonna pull them down. I like to have a nice little puffy bow, so there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and lay the tails down. And now we're gonna decorate this little top section of our box. So as you can see on this one, we have a little vellum envelope, and that is part of the die set. It's this one right here. And I've already cut out a vellum envelope for us, so here it is. We're gonna go ahead and use our bone folder. We're gonna our vellum is a cardstock, so it is a little bit thicker, but it does give us nice crisp edges. So we're gonna go ahead and then we're gonna do the bottom, of course. Get it to come straight across there. All right, looks awesome. All right, so there's our envelope. So we are gonna tuck in, as you can see, 3 hearts. So we are gonna stamp Pool Party in the large heart. So there is that one. Whoops. In the Fresh Freesia, we're gonna stamp on it in Highland Heather because I want it to be a little bit darker. And it is this elongated heart. There we go. And then on our Blushing Bride paper, I am using the last little heart here, and I'm doing that in Polished Pink to match our ribbon. So we will stamp that down. All right, now those need to be cut out with our die cut machine, and I have done that ahead of time as well, so you didn't have to sit here and watch me die cut everything. So here are our 3 hearts. All right, let's clean our stamps and then we can get to assembling. I'm going to use some mini glue dots. They work really well for this kind of thing. Whenever you have something real small, mini glue dots are your friend. They come on a long roll like this, and they're super cool because they are basically little dots of glue. They're good for small things, they're good for embellishments, they're good for ribbon, anything 3-dimensional that you're trying to attach onto your card here. All right, let's get these guys out of the way and let's get started. So here's what the glue dots look like. Hopefully you can see them. Sometimes it's hard to see things in the camera. I am going to attach one to the corner of this heart right here. All right, and I'm gonna attach that and help close my envelope with that. That glue dot is gonna hold that envelope closed. Now I'm gonna tuck this little heart right here like it's popping out of our envelope, and I'm gonna use a glue dot to adhere it as well. So I stuck that on there, and then we're gonna push that down onto the flap of our envelope. I'm gonna use my bone folder here to open my envelope a little bit so it's not quite so flat and it's a little bit more puffed, just like that. And then for this part here, we're gonna grab a few of these glue dots and we're gonna adhere that one down first. So we're gonna go ahead and put our heart right here in this corner. Then we're gonna put a couple more glue dots on the back of my envelope, hiding behind these hearts so that you cannot see them. All right, and we are going to put another one, maybe right here in this corner. All right, and we are gonna tuck our envelope back like so and press it into place. there is the front of our cute little nerd box. My Valentine's Nerds box cover. It does cover the box of the nerds, so that's, I guess, a good name for it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed yourself. I certainly have enjoyed having you with me. In order for me to bring you more videos, it really helps if you will like, comment, share, and subscribe. The more people I have watching, the easier it is for me to make more videos. Share with your friends. You can share on text, on Facebook. There's lots of great ways to share, and I would greatly appreciate that. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'm kind of new to YouTube, so help me out and click that little like button, comment for me, tell me what you think. Tell me if there's things you would like for me to make for you. I would really appreciate that as well. Share the video and subscribe. That way you'll get notifications of when I post new videos. Also check out my blog, inkyhandswarmhearts.com. I will link it in the description below. But I blog every single day there. I've been blogging for almost 2 years now, and I really appreciate it if you'd check out my blog. That is where you would go to shop to purchase the items that I've shown you today. You'll click on Shop with Me on my blog, and it'll take you to my online store where you can look at all the cute products that we have for paper crafting. Again, thank you so much for watching. I am so grateful for you guys. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!